Hi, this is the glide slope tuner from the ILS VOR receiver, which was described in my last video. So the goal of this video is to make some tests on this device. So this should not be complicated. So first I will explain you, if you don't know the basics of this ILS landing system, and especially the glide slope. So this is a picture I took from the website here. So the glide slope permits to the aircraft to follow a specific angle here, which is generally 3 degrees. So for that purpose, there is an antenna here. This antenna emits a signal with two modulated signals, one at 90 Hz and the second one at 150 Hz. So the aircraft receives these two signals, and depending on the modulation depth of these two signals, the aircraft knows if it is above this glide slope or under the glide slope. The carrier frequency of the signal is around 330 MHz, and the signals are AM modulated. So basically, this thing is just an AM receiver. So the input of the antenna is here. So here we have a filter in order to remove the signal which is outside the bandwidth, around 330 MHz. So the output of this filter is fed to this transistor. So this transistor is probably a dual gate MOSFET, which is used as a mixer. So the second input of the mixer is this coaxial cable here. You can see that this cable comes from this box here. This module here is a local oscillator. So the frequency depends on the channel. So the channel can be selected probably using some of these lines here, which are probably connected to this prom. So this is a synthesizer, or PLL, and the input of this thing should be the reference oscillator, which should be inside this box here, and the output of the oscillator should be fed to this part here, which seems to be a high frequency divider. It's a 11C90. So probably this transistor is used as a buffer in order to isolate the output of this VCO from the input of this thing. So maybe it's just an amplifier, or maybe just a buffer. And then there is maybe different dividers here, which can be selected by this prom in order to set the correct LO frequency. So the local oscillator is mixed with the input signal, and this is fed to this intermediate frequency filter. So the intermediate frequency is 21.4 MHz, which is a standard value in aircraft. And after this, there should be some amplifier stages here. It should be interesting to do the reverse of this thing. It's not so complicated. And after that, we should have an AM detector. And the output is a low frequency signal. This signal should be fed to one terminal of this connector here. So first, we'll try to find the power supplies. So we can see that we have 3 capacitors here. So at least there is one power supply for the 5 volts. This will be easy to find. And we should have maybe a plus and minus 12 volts or something like that. I have set the DMM to continuity test mode. I will start to find the plus 5 volts power supply. So for example, I will use this one, this counter. It is powered by 5 volts obviously. So we can see that all these capacitors are connected to the ground. And we have 2 positive power supplies here, this one and this one. None of them are connected to the 5 volts power supplies. Okay, we have 5 volts here. Okay. Okay, so the 5 volts is accessible from this connector here. Okay, these 2 pins here. And then we can check the power supplies of this op-amp. So this so this should be this middle pin here. So this should be the positive power supply normally. Okay, we can see that it is connected to this point. So this is plus 12 volts, for example. We should have a negative. Maybe the negative is connected to the ground. No. Okay, so this is the minus 12 volts here. So we have the plus 12 volts here, the minus 12 volts here. In the middle, I don't know. This is a positive power supply also, but I will check if this power supply is connected to this thing. It is maybe used for other stuff, but this will be difficult to know. So we can try to power this thing. So I will use plus or minus 12 volt and plus 5 volts. I have connected this board to a power supply. So the 5 volt is also available on the positive terminal of this capacitor here. So the power supply is here. Minus 12, plus 12 and plus 5 volts. So I will measure the current first. Okay, I will turn on the power supply. Okay, you have 20 milliamp for the positive power supply and 15 for the negative one. I don't have the current consumption of plus 5 volts, but this should be okay. So first we can test the frequency response of this input filter. So fortunately I have the perfect adapter for this input here. So I have connected the input of this board here to the output of the spectrum analyzer here. And the input is connected through this high impedance probe. So this is connected to the output of this filter here. So I will turn on the power supply. So first I will set the frequency. So I will set the start frequency to 100 MHz and the stop frequency at 500 MHz, for example. Okay. So I will turn on the test generator here. Okay. Forgot to supply the high impedance probe. Okay. So we can see that effectively this is the bandpass filter. Okay, so the maximum is around 330 MHz, so this is what is expected. I will set the center frequency to 315 normally megahertz. Okay, and I will change the span. Actually, it's a little bit higher than that, and I will change the span. For example, 50 megahertz. Okay, so I will change also the resolution bandwidth, but I think it is more or less identical. Okay. We can change the level maybe of the test generator. Okay, so this is the input filter of this instrument. So the range is between 330, yes, around to 336. I don't remember if it is correct values. Yes, okay, so you can see here the frequency range is between 330 to 335. So it is exactly what we have here. Okay, we can change the span. Okay, so the filter is perfect. So this is the first step. The second step is to check this test generator here. So I'm going to remove this cover in order to see the internal construction. I have removed the shield of this test oscillator. So we can see inside we just have an oscillator with a crystal here, and probably the output circuit is tuned to an harmonic of this crystal. So let's check the frequency of this crystal. The frequency of this crystal is 55.858 megahertz. 55 something. So if we divide 335 divided by 55.8, this gives a figure of 6. So probably the output circuit is tuned to the 6th harmonic of the signal. So let's see the power supply of this thing. So I will check with the continuity tester. as with the conformal coating it is not obvious. Okay, there is a resistor here in order to produce a filter. This resistor is 4 kilo ohms. Okay, so this terminal here corresponds to the middle capacitor here, which is not used at this moment. This capacitor here. So this one was for the minus 12, plus 12, but this one actually is used probably for the supply of this test oscillator. You will connect this capacitor to the plus 12 volts. Okay, I will use this cable. So I turn on the power supply and I will test with my high impedance probe the output of this oscillator. Normally the output should be this line here. There is nothing here. I will increase the span. I will start the frequency to 100 MHz and stop at 500 MHz. Okay, we can see that we have frequency here, a signal at this frequency. So let's check with the marker. And we search automatically the peak. And this is the frequency of 111 MHz. Okay, so this corresponds to the second harmonic of the crystal. I will center this frequency. Okay, so we can see that the fundamental is here. So this is the oscillation of the crystal, 55.9. Okay, so we can see effectively the level should be very small at this frequency. I will decrease the bandwidth. Okay, so this peak is at 335 MHz, but the level is very small, minus 60 dB or something like that. So minus 60 dBm, because the reference level is at 0 dBm. But this is the signal at the shock inductor here. So we can see on this test generator. So we can see that the output signal is here, and there is this diode in series with the output. This diode is connected to this white wire here. The white wire is connected through this terminal, which is connected to this diode. This diode permits to create nonlinearities on the current signal. So there is probably inside this filter small coil or small coupling between this white wire, which is maybe connected to the ground here. So the test oscillator works. The next step will be the test of the local oscillator here. So probably I will have to do the reverse engineering. It can be interesting. And after that we can test the intermediate frequency filter here. And maybe to do the reverse engineering of this amplifier here and the detector. So we can see that there are two diodes here, one here and one here. This permits probably to perform the AM demodulation. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.